We also have in Ecuador the first campaign political assassination as well. You can see here Fernando Villavicencio, a candidate who was campaigning at the time, was shot and killed. It again is the first ever assassination on the campaign trail in Ecuador. He was just leaving a campaign rally 10 days before the first round of the presidential election was set to take place. The gunman died in police custody following an exchange of fire with security personnel. So, that means that details about why exactly it happened, who set it up, if anyone, God only knows, we don't have the information now because the person died. We can say that as a candidate, he was outspoken about corruption and the violence caused by drug trafficking in the country. He said that the Ecuador had become a narco state, and he proposed to lead a fight against what he called the political mafia. So an outsider. I am by no means obviously an expert on Ecuadorian politics. I'm not going to try and get over my skis in terms of analysis of this, but the fact that he was an anti-corruption candidate who was gunned down is hardly surprising. In any event, the election is still gonna go on as planned, albeit obviously without this candidate. So, terrible news, not just in America, but also going on in Ecuador right now. And I feel terrible for what they're experiencing. I know that the Ecuadorian people have got to be absolutely rocked by this. This is not the sort of thing that's supposed to be happening there. Any other thoughts, Mondale?
Yeah, I think this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy for democracy and also this idea of how we check governments and corruption, right? And I think also, and I don't want to make everything about Donald Trump because it's not, but I definitely want to say that this spread of strongman attitude in this part of the world and around the world. We saw it in Brazil with Bolsonaro. We saw it in India with Modi. All of this came out of man's fear and out of Donald Trump and his Trumpism becoming worldwide, which is letting people know that what happens in America becomes, standard. I think how do we say that we are leading democracy or the leading democracy in this world, the oldest democracy, when we see attack on our capital, and you have half of the elected officials in Washington D.C. denying that it happened. We have no shoe to stand on and call out the strong men in Ecuador that killed a person who was combating, a corruption. So I think we look hypocritical when we start as a nation, when we start pointing fingers at what's going on in Ecuador, and we can't even hold accountable the people who did that in our capital.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.